Hello?
Hello.
Oh my gosh.
Here. And you know what? For October, it is warm.
It's warm in this room. It's not warm in the world.
I mean, I'm also wearing like a giant hoodie that
I didn't know it had like a fleece inside.
It.
No, but I see it.
You want to touch it? It feels nice.
Yeah, it's soft.
He's so afraid to like be affectionate with me, guys.
Would that even have been affectionate if I'd like pet the inside of your hoodie?
It would have been a little more affectionate than you usually are.
I touched it, and you're welcome. And again, it's a two-way street. It's not like you're hugging me all the time.
Would you like me to?
No, I think what we have is working pretty well. The decade of friendship is an attest to that.
Okay, we were telling everyone on the live chat that we've only ever hugged each other if like someone in the family dies, or he also hugged me the day Carol Channing died.
I did.
I got a hug.
That's a family member.
That is a family member.
You and Carol were like this.
We were like twins.
I know. It's like looking in the mirror, I bet.
I know. I feel so empty now.
Well,
don't we all? Doesn't the world feel empty now that Carol Channing is no longer with us?
I think she's always going to live on through you. Isn't that a beautiful thing?
Isn't she? Isn't she?
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Two Game Match, the podcast. It's Matt Palmer.
And it's Matt Steele.
We're back again another week. And today, and you know what I got to say about the weather?
Let's say it.
I'm happy that it finally feels like fall. It was a little overcast today and like almost a little drizzly, but I will take that if that means that the highs are low 70s and the lows are in like the high 50s. Like I was summered out by like mid-August. So this whole September and early October heat we were having, I didn't need it, and so I'm just happy we're here now.
You made it. It's very different for you now that you don't live on the west side like me, because the west side, we got the breeze, darling.
Yes.
Now you live higher up,
I
and
do.
It's a little warmer where you are now. So how has that changed? Now that it's been like officially a year since you've lived with me.
Yes.
How has that change been, like dealing with that weather-wise?
I mean, honestly, central air solves all. Like if there's anything that has made the transition easy, it's the fact that it's always going to be like 75 in this apartment.
And then you walk outside and go, oh!
I know. I'm like, oh, it's warm today. I get surprised. The thing is, I should ask my ALEXAs or look at my phone more often before leaving the home, but I don't do it, and so I get surprised.
You don't like check your phone to see the weather when you like pick your outfit for the day?
I do sometimes, but sometimes I forget and I get shocked. I just assume, and sometimes when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. And that's not what I want.
Lesson to be learned, children.
I bet I'm the first person to ever say that.
I know.
So Matt Steele,
yes.
How was your week?
My week was very good.
Yeah.
I worked. I went to the cinema. I don't know. I went to a restaurant with a friend.
Can you tell us what you saw, or is that going to come up later?
It's going to come up later. Thank you so
so.
much. And boy, was it cinema.
All right.
And I don't know. I just worked. I really can't say I did anything at all interesting this week except like see a movie and eat a nice dinner.
Okay, I love
one
that.
night.
I love that.
Yeah. How about you? What did you do?
I also didn't do anything too crazy. On Friday, we went over to Jackson's sisters, and he has his aunt and uncle in town, and so we met up with them and had dinner, and that was lovely. Last night, we watched the Dodger game because they were in the playoffs, and unfortunately, they did not win the series. So the Dodgers, even though they had one of the best records of anybody in baseball ever during the regular season, they will no longer be in the playoffs.
I just hope that both teams had fun. I hope everyone's checks clear when they get cash.
Now that I believe did happen. I don't believe the Dodgers had fun, but their checks will clear. Absolutely.
And I bet they're having fun cashing those checks.
I bet they are. And it's a little bit of time off. Like if we're going to do a glass half full, half empty.
Hey,
let's have some time off.
Hey, they are living stress-free now.
I think one of those Dodgers, it was announced, had a baby that day of that game yesterday.
Oh my God, that's so great.
And so you'll have time to spend with the baby.
Congratulations to the Dodger who had the baby. Did he go to the game?
No. He did go to the game. They flew him from helicopter. Like he drove to LA to be with his wife when giving. We've never talked about sports this much. To be with his wife while she was giving birth, and then got helicoptered back to San Diego for the game, and then they lost.
Wow, so he must be like a very like important player. And then when they were just like, we are flying you in. Because I know that like baseball teams have like multiple, I don't know, is there like 20 to a game? Girl, I don't know. But I know that only like 9 of them, 9 or 10, like only play per game. game.
Right.
So but I think he just like take that day off, or like were they like, no, motherfucker, we need you?
Yeah, no, because the thing is, if they had lost, they were out of the series, and maybe he was an important part of the batting lineup. I think it's lineup when like the order of which people bat.
I call it the cast list.
Okay, I don't think it's that. When I was talking about the people in the stands, I was like, oh, what's the audience saying? I was like, I guess they're a crowd. They're not an audience.
They're an audience.
I don't know. There's a lot of rules. Things are said differently on the baseball field. So yes, we watched that last night, and then today we had some friends come over and hosted a nice, cute little brunch for Sarah and her firefighter boyfriend, fiance, almost husband, Eric.
How are they doing?
They're doing great. I was very kind of them to drive all the way because they were coming from Long Beach, so it was quite a trek. But it was lovely to see them.
You better have made them a great meal.
I mean, there was
Long Beach.
There was literally all carbs. It was like pancakes and biscuits and pumpkin bread. There was some bacon. There was some egg scramble. But we got some champagne. Everybody left happy.
But the carbs were the most important.
Carbs were just everywhere. Yes. So it's really been nice. And now I'm here with you.
Oh,
isn't that lovely?
It is. It is so lovely.
Is that a musical reference?
Yes. Wouldn't it be lovely, My Fair Lady?
Oh, I don't know My Fair Lady. But
you know the song Wouldn't It Be Lovely?
I don't know that I do.
All I want is a room somewhere far away from the cold night air.
Why wouldn't you start in the chorus? Like what? You give me the first verse.
That's how it goes.
But is there not a chorus of this song?
You don't know how old-fashioned show tunes work. It's just chorus, bridge, chorus. That's how it works. And like the verse would be like a little intro. Oh. But Wouldn't It Be Lovely doesn't have that. I can't believe you are saying you don't know the song Wouldn't It Be Lovely on the week of Angela Lansbury's death.
I mean,
Angela Lansbury was never in My Fair Lady, but still, I find this offensive.
I was going back and forth actually when I was ordering the stories. Would you like to talk about Angela now, or do you want to wait until the end of this segment?
I mean, this is something I never wanted to ever talk about.
Let's talk about it.
So I guess we'll just do it now and get it over with, because this was hard.
All right.
Oh, am I?
Yes. I mean, Angela Lansbury has passed away. She was a screen and Broadway icon. She was 96 at the time. She died in her sleep in her LA home. And in 5 days, she would have turned 97. She had 3 Oscar nominations for Gaslight, The Picture of Dorian Gray, and The Manchurian Candidate. For 12 years, she played Jessica Fletcher on Murder, She Wrote.
6 Tony Awards, one of them a Lifetime Achievement Award, and 5 regular competitive Tony Awards. I mean, when I tell you, I found out the news when our friend Corey texted us, and all I just saw was Angela Lansbury, and I have never pulled over to the side of a highway faster.
Wait, you pulled over on the highway?
Yes, I did.
Lord.
Yes, I did, because I was like, no. What, you wanted me to find out as I was driving? No, I needed to take a break. Thank you.
Yes.
Or else there would have been a pile of.
Okay, no, I didn't want that, but I was like, maybe you could exit. I don't know.
No, I had to stop right then and there.
Okay.
So, I mean, the thing is, and I, tweeted this out, Angela Lansbury is very much like that celebrity that I think all of us just kind of assumed would always be around. Like, and it might have something to do with A, the fact that like she was so beloved, but B, because she always played, like from 30 years old on, she always played like in her 60s.
Oh, really?
Like she always played. So she kind of always just felt like that ageless grandma that we all had that was just always going to be there. And I mean, words cannot describe how much of a legend this woman is. And so, when someone dies, even when they are older and they pass away, it's not surprising, but there was a surprise element to it because I was always just like, this is never going to happen. She's always going to be here. Wow. But, it doesn't mean it hurts any less. Like, you go back and look at all of their amazing work. And I just want to say, I was so lucky to have seen her perform live. I saw her.
Oh, wow. I didn't know you had.
Yeah, I saw her in 2009 when she was in the Broadway revival of Blithe Spirit, front row center.
Wow.
And she was like 83 at the time, performing this pretty physical role. She was playing like a loopy psychic, and I was front row center at the Schubert Theater. And just like seeing this woman who was of a certain age and had this whole history behind her, just still be so on it and so sharp and so good and so funny. It was just wonderful. And I'm so happy that I got to see her in one of her Tony Award winning roles.
Wow.
So yeah, what's your history with Angela? Angie?
I feel like I was aware of Murder, She Wrote, as a young person, maybe at a grandparent's house, and that was probably on. And I know that she was in Beauty and the Beast, Mrs. Potts.
She's married.
Oh, yes, Mrs. Potts. And I saw that many were affected. And so my heart goes out to all that were affected.
Yeah, so it was a lot of Angela Lansbury viewing content. I watched a lot of like clips from Bed Knobs and Broomsticks, which was one of my favorite movies like as a kid. I watched an amazing clip of her watching herself perform Rose's Turn.
Oh, interesting.
From the 70s when she was in it on Broadway, when she was in Gypsy on Broadway in the 70s, and watching her watch it, she was like, I didn't know this footage existed. And she, was watching it and she was getting emotional. And she's like, it's amazing to watch this now, having never really seen myself in this show, and watch myself now watching something that at the time I thought I was just doing okay.
Really?
And she's like, and watching it now. And, she didn't verbalize this, but you knew the subtext was like, damn, I was good. like watching
Good
her younger self and realizing like, fuck, I was so good.
I love
in
that.
this show, and which she was. Like any footage you can see of her as Mama Rose and Gypsy, watch it immediately. Not enough can be said. So rest in peace, Angela Lansbury.
Yes, rest in peace to
We
her.
love you forever.
All right. Did you see that Silk Sonic has bowed out from submitting their album for Grammy consideration? The last Grammy Awards, they won many awards. I believe
Record and
song for Leave the Door Open.
Yeah.
And so in a statement to Rolling Stone, Bruno Mars revealed that the duo, which was formed with Anderson .Paak, will not submit their album in the evening with Silk Sonic for Grammys consideration. We truly put our all on this record, but Silk Sonic would like to gracefully, humbly, and most importantly, sexually bow out of submitting our album this year.
That's funny.
We thank the Grammys for allowing us to perform on their platform not once, but twice, and awarding us at last year's ceremony. We'd be crazy to ask for anything more. I just am wondering what the reasoning is behind this. I'm excited because let's all clear the runway for Renaissance to win Album of the Year.
Which I do think Renaissance still could have won if Silk Sonic was still in. I do think it still could have won. It's a newer album. The Grammys know their history of like, we've never awarded Beyonce Album of the Year, which of course that hasn't stopped them from preventing her from winning in the past, but still like this year even more so. But still, it just, as some might say, it leaves the door open.
It does leave the door open.
Leaves that door open a little more.
And I personally felt, and I feel like I mentioned this in the Discord and got some pushback, but I will say it here, and maybe I watch too much reality TV and I think there's always got to be drama. Mm-hmm. But to me, if I'm Anderson .Paak or Bruno Mars, this feels like Bruno Mars has decided he does not want to take this win from Beyonce, doesn't want to take this win from whomever. And while Anderson .Paak, it was pointed out to me, has won 3 Grammys of his own prior to Silk Sonic, I don't believe any of those are Album of the Year. It feels like Bruno was like, I have not lost a Grammy in like 8 years or something insane. And so the idea of me taking this from her on this side project, I don't know. Maybe this is all conjecture. Maybe this is being made up in my head. But if all I'm saying is if I was Anderson .Paak and this decision was made, or someone came to me with this, I'd be like, absolutely the fuck not. We will be submitting. I will ride your coattails to the Album of the Year because I fucking want one.
I wonder when it's like a duo like that, who has the final say?
They must have come to an agreement together. Like, I think if they had not come to an agreement, they would have just submitted still. Because it's like, there's even no promise you'll get nominated. They would have. And there's no promise they would have won. They might have. But either way.
Maybe Bruno was just sort of thinking optimistically for Beyonce, but also being like, ooh, but I don't want to ever lose a Grammy. So if I just take it out of contention, I'll never have lost.
I think he has lost, like in his debut era and stuff. Okay. He lost. It's been a minute that he's lost, but he has.
Well, he was probably like, I don't like this feeling of losing, so take us out.
I am just wondering what it's all about. And I'm looking closely at Bruno's socials. He's not he's not Instagramming about Anderson .Paak a lot. I don't know. I personally think there's trouble in paradise, but again, I watch a lot of Housewives, so maybe this is what is coloring my vision there.
Do you think Bruno Mars's next album will be the divorce album from Anderson .Paak?
Hey, that'd be one to listen to. I'd be interested.
I'd love some Bruno Mars sad songs.
I mean,
he writes a good sad song.
He'd catch a grenade for you.
He'd catch a grenade for you.
What a great! I love that.
Oh, that's
it's
amazing
so
song.
dramatic and ridiculous, but it's amazing. Well, speaking of the Grammys, Nicki Minaj and Lotto are currently feuding on Twitter, or I think they were feuding. I don't remember. I think it was Friday night, and it was because apparently Nicki Minaj's single Super Freaky Girl, which was originally submitted in the rap categories at the Grammys, has now been placed in the pop category. Someone at the Grammys decided, no, this is a pop song.
Nicki's song
is
was
Super Freaky
in the
Girl.
pop category.
Yes. Okay. And this led to Nicki to go on Instagram Live, in which she said, well, I hope Lotto's Big Energy should also be moved to the pop category because it was produced by the same person who we don't like to mention. And it's a similar vibe of, pop rap, hot, like crossover. Why is she still in the rap category? And then Lotto responded by saying, damn, I can't win for losing all these awards / noms. I can't even celebrate. And then they just began going back and forth because apparently Nicki had slid into Lotto's DMs after this Instagram Live, or after all of this happened with the Grammys, being like, why aren't you publicly supporting me and my being upset about this Grammy nomination not going the way I think it should? And Lotto was like, well, we've been talking to each other in DMs a lot, and the last time we talked, you were very rude and like blah, blah, blah. And so this was a back and forth for the ages. Lotto is playing recorded audio of their phone conversations. Nicki is showing DM receipts of Lotto asking to be on, or asking Nicki to feature on songs, and Nicki turning her down. And it's just like, what is this based on? What is this about?
Yeah, guys, the nominations aren't even out.
They're not even out.
It could be neither of them that get nominated.
It could be neither of them. And also, the thing about this, Nicki is right. This is a rap song. The verses are rapped. It is it samples, a rap song in MC Hammer's Can't Touch This, even though those are both a sample of, what's his face? Fucking, well, it doesn't matter. They're both an 80s sample of Rick James and Super Freak. But so it's like, yes, your song is a rap song and probably should be in the rap category. It being moved to pop doesn't make much sense, but this has nothing to do with Lotto.
Yeah.
You literally could have left Big Energy out of your discussion altogether. You could say, this is my reasoning for thinking that this should be in rap, blah, 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 blah. And even if you're going to use her for an example, you don't need her to publicly back you up if you know that behind the scenes it has not been, perfectly, we're all in great company with one another.
And what power does Lotto have to change this?
She just could publicly come out and support. Sure. But it's like, I would have publicly come out and supported you if you hadn't turned me down 3 times for features and been subtweeting me, because Nicki gets very insecure about new rap girls coming up. And so since Big Energy, I think, has been on the charts for a solo female rap song, I think now the longest of anyone in history.
Okay.
It's Nicki doesn't like that. So it just feels like, sure, Nicki, at the end of the day, she has a point. It doesn't really make sense to me why this song would be in the pop category. Lotto should have nothing to do with this. And honestly, I was just scrolling through their feeds and making sure Mariah wasn't mentioned, because it's so clearly an overlap of an issue. And I just think I'd love Mariah to stay out of the fray. And she did. So let's celebrate that. To quote Oprah and Lindsay, well, hello, let's celebrate that.
Let's celebrate that, guys. She rose above.
She did.
Did you think Mariah thought about this?
I wonder if she and Lotto have if they have discussed it, it's been in private, which is how it all should have been. It should have all happened privately, but we know too much. Nicki, I hope you just I want her to be more secure in her legacy and not feel the need to fight with all of these new girls coming out.
I wonder when Mariah found out, if she'd be like, oh, she's going in pop. I thought she rapped. I really genuinely did think she rapped.
I mean, I'm sure she heard about it and it's Nicki causing problems, shocker. It would have been great. And speaking, there's more Grammy news for the Grammys that the nominations haven't even come out yet.
Jeez.
Taylor Swift has officially submitted Red, Taylor's version, for Grammy's consideration. She has submitted it for Album of the Year and Best Country Album, which...
Best Country Album? Wait, are we still calling Red a country album?
That's what she is, I guess. And it's
right.
Taylor, I'm excited to hear your album in 4 or 5 days. This is ridiculous. The album is not different enough from what was released in 2012 or whatever for you to be resubmitting the full, it would be one thing if you're All Too Well, I'm submitting, which she is.
For Song of the Year, yes.
The 10-minute version, it's a new single now. It's a new version of the song. Absolutely. That makes sense.
I think it could win Song of the Year.
And I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah.
album of the year nominated for like a reissue of an album that was already nominated for album of the year is crazy. I'm sorry.
Who was someone on our Discord was talking about, I hope that Renaissance wins and like Red is nominated again. And so when they say the album of the year winner is Renaissance, and so Taylor has the same reaction that she and all her people had when they thought Red won over Random Access Memories.
Yes, that would be very funny. I would enjoy that. But to me, it's just like, Taylor, you have enough. You have enough. And like, you just got an album of the year. Midnight's is coming out. Like,
she's about to win an Oscar.
I mean, she could, unfortunately. Let's hope that doesn't happen because it's...
Oh, I was thinking for Amsterdam for her supporting actress.
Sorry.
For getting run over by a car.
Most certainly won't happen. I was thinking for All Too Well, the short film.
The short film. Guys, Song of the Year, let's go for it.
Yes.
That would be an excellent win.
An excellent win.
Yes.
Very deserving.
I think that's the award we should have our eye on the prize.
And what a song.
I mean, what a song. What a masterpiece.
In other good news, Alex Jones has been found guilty of defamation in order to pay close to $1 billion to the families of the children who of the Sandy Hook mass shooting, because he has made a living off of saying that it was a hoax.
Does he have $1 billion?
I think it's all coming from InfoWars. Like his whole company is going to be siphoning money out of it. And there's a video of him like hearing the judgment and hearing the judge say, he's just like, do they really think they're going to get this money out of me? And it's like, yeah, bitch, they fucking are.
Just like talking over the verdict.
Yes.
Like, and like telling people like, give us more, and we're going to fight this. Give us more. It's just like, oh my God. And like, how grifty can you be?
What a disgusting human being. And I think what he's done is so vile and horrifying that like, give him another $1 billion, charge him another fucking $1 billion. These victims' families did not deserve any of this ever. And he just makes my stomach turn. And I liked that he is having a bad week. And I hate the man. Long story short. And speaking of people I hate, Donald Trump getting subpoenaed.
Hey,
for January 6th hearings. We love that. And unfortunately, add to the list of people we hate. Someone we haven't thought about since, she shared the stage with Madonna at the Super Bowl and flicked off the camera.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, remember that?
No.
MIA came out as an anti-vaxxer. She tweeted, if Alex Jones pays for lying, shouldn't every celebrity pushing vaccines pay too? Girl! Like, why can we not enjoy a song with cash register song sounds and gunshots on our own time? Like, you could have just quietly sent an email to yourself. The solution to most problems, in my estimation, is just send an email to yourself.
Send an email to yourself. Do you actually send it, or do you just save as draft, as Katy Perry would tell us to do?
I think I just save it. I just have it in the drafts. It's like I have the email written out and just save it.
And then do you delete the drafts?
No.
Oh, how many drafts do you have?
I mean, I don't get this mad a lot. Okay. So I don't have that many. But sometimes you get to go back and like, woo, I was mad. And she could have come back to this in 2 years, hopefully, when she stops being a fucking idiot. It's like, woo, I was an idiot. But alas, she has to tell the entire world that she's an idiot right now. And it's like, why? And so now she's getting dropped from like the little bookings she had. Like she was involved in some sort of GQ Man of the Year issue or something and got an email being like, well, since the tweet, no thanks. And it's like, for someone who's barely booked already, why would you do this? Why would you do this?
I mean...
I'm exhausted.
I can't believe you have all those drafts just on your email.
It's not a lot.
I'm someone who must have zero, the number 0 next to everything.
Nah.
Like if I have on iPhone, the little red dot.
It doesn't come up as a red dot.
It doesn't, but still when I go to my email, it will still have numbers next to drafts, and I can't have that. I can't have that.
This seems like a personal problem.
I like a good cleanse, just everything to be clear.
Okay.
Well, like the Beyonce diet when she did Dreamgirls.
That's not
lemon juice and cayenne
and it's
pepper.
Like looking back at that, was that healthy?
Absolutely not. But baby, that was the film of her life.
She
gave the performance of a lifetime.
She was gonna be Diana Ross. She was running on that treadmill, looking at a plastic Oscar. Man, are all the pop girls just nuts? It's like, who are we talking about? This is like my favorite person, but it's like, what was that about?
You know what? We were trying everything.
This was
young Beyonce.
And very fun Leah Michelle news. Chris Colfer was on Michelle Collins' podcast, or on Michelle Collins' Sirius XM show, and the host, Michelle Collins, who's amazing and hilarious. You should listen to her podcast, Midnight Snack. Very good. Asked if he'd be seeing Leah Michele in Funny Girl on Broadway. He responded, wow, my day suddenly got so full. Tried to change the subject about how he recently saw and enjoyed Six, and then ended with, like, when Michelle was like, no, you really should come. I have an extra ticket. You should come with me.
Oh, she was egging him on. She was like, let's get another quote.
No, I can be triggered at home. And the thing is, and this is what I requested after this interaction occurred. I was like, I need a documentary about what happened on the Glee set. And Discovery Plus has announced a 3-part documentary about the highs and lows of the show's production. The show will reportedly address Leah Michele's on-set behavior as well as the effect of the deaths of Corey Monteith and Naya Rivera. While the press release says key cast and crew members will participate in the documentary, they did not confirm which ones.
First of all, what the hell is Discovery Plus?
This
is a new platform I gotta get.
It's that thing that I think bought HBO Max. It's like Warner Discovery Plus, and they're the people who did the Armie Hammer documentary that came out recently.
Oh.
So I guess they're like docudrama types. And you know what? I'm going to watch this one. As much as like I'm not a true crime girl, but this is a true crime I have to know about. This is a true crime I need to get to the bottom of,
I know,
honestly.
I've never seen an episode, like a full episode of Glee in my life. I might watch this. I might watch this.
You must, because like I have to know the deaths. I feel like will be sad,
sure,
you know. But the Leah Michele shit is like, give me everything.
And it's. I don't think it's just the Leah Michele stuff. It's like everyone. Like there was
so many feuds
with everyone, and I'm
can't believe
curious.
I can't believe none of those. None of the cast has written a tell-all book about this yet. Like,
didn't Naya Rivera write
she did, but I don't think it. I don't know. It wasn't all. It was like about her life. I'm like, I guess everyone wants to write about their life, but at some point, if I were on that set, I'd be like, well, what do the people want? They want to know what happened on the fucking set of Glee, and I can tell them.
Yeah.
Hello. Speaking of, Jeanette McCurdy got like a $1 million book deal for her debut novel. I'm excited for her.
Good for her.
Good for her.
Killing it.
I want to still listen to or read her memoir, and I have not yet. Issa Rae has called out Ezra Miller by name and says that the Ezra Miller crisis reveals how far Hollywood will go to protect offenders. I'm going to be real. The stuff that's happening with Ezra Miller to me is a microcosm of Hollywood. There's this person who's a repeat offender who's been behaving atrociously and is opposed to shutting the production down. There's an effort to save the movie and them. That is a clear example of the lengths that Hollywood will go to save itself and protect offenders.
Ezra Miller is kind of like the Invisible Man. They just pop up in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And just like, boom, something horrible happened.
The thing.
And then they're gone. And it's like, wait,
right.
where did they go?
Like, you really could have canceled that Flash movie that you were having him star in, and they did not. It's like, guys, he cannot just go on an apology press tour. He is like, have been terrorizing people all across the country. And it's like, no.
The country? Like across
the world? Because it was Japan too, wasn't it?
It's like Hawaii and then Vermont and then
those are parts of the country.
No, I was making fun of the fact that it actually was all across. It wasn't just like one location. So yes,
I know.
All across the world. Yes. Wild. And how is this person getting away with it?
And
where are they now? Are they behind me? I want to know.
Everyone keep looking behind you because they could pop up at any time. But I think since like the film is back on and they've done their press apology tour, they've been a little quieter. We haven't gotten any more Ezra Miller stories in a couple weeks.
True.
But I appreciate Issa for coming out and being honest, because I feel like so many celebrities think this, feel this, and would not say it and say the name.
Well, I'm just curious. That's like, is The Flash such a money-making aspect of what is it, Marvel, DC? I don't know.
Probably DC. Actually,
is The Flash like the big moneymaker?
No.
So
it's not Superman.
So
and honestly,
just make another Superman movie. I don't know.
And all those DC movies don't do well anyways. Right? Like, so what's it matter? We're not going B-list DC.
Yeah. Unless it's like the head honchos, like the Batman or something like that. Yeah.
Did the Batman do well?
The Batman did very well.
Oh, good. Okay.
It's actually great. Like, I really liked the Batman.
I love that. Well, I don't have that much more. I just want to give a shout out to Brandy, who is currently recovering from in a hospital after suffering a possible seizure, which is very upsetting. Thoughts and prayers go out to her. An incredible talent. I only want good things for Brandy always, as we know.
Get well soon, Brandy.
Get well soon to Brandy. And, you know, I mentioned this in the Discord, and Matt Steele judged me for being thirsty, but I'm just saying, for all listeners out there interested in men, you should look up Jonathan Majors in Men's Health magazine. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, wait, he's a singer?
No, he's in Men's Health. He's an actor.
Oh, I thought you were saying that he had music or something.
No, he does not have music. My God.
I never know.
That's true.
I bet he has a real deep voice.
I don't know what the voice sounds like. Idris Elba does rap, which is upsetting. But no, Jonathan Majors just acts and looks great.
He could sing me a song at our wedding.
Well, you call us all garbage people for posting thirsty things in the Discord.
No, it's because you posted him, and then all of a sudden everyone in the Discord was posting hot men, and I was like, y'all are trash. Y'all are thirsty out here. So I was making fun of all of you.
You need more reason to join the Patreon. You'll get links like that throughout the day. So is there any other news for idiots you want to share with the people?
I don't think so.
All right, guys. Well, let's take a quick break, and then we'll be back with more 2 Gay Mats, the podcast.
Bye.
Not bye.
Come back. Yes. We'll be back. All right, guys. We're back, and I'm still warm.
Yes, we are back. It's happening.
You know, I work hard. I always give my 100%. So I exert a lot of energy, and that's a lot of heat.
Some people only give 75, I heard.
I heard that as well.
Isn't that weird?
Anyway. So we are on Email My Heart. This is the section of the podcast where we answer any questions that you guys might have. You can be a part of Emailing My Heart if you email us at 2gaymats@gmail.com, 2 spelled TWO, or if you are watching this on YouTube, you can comment below. Or if we didn't get any emails this week, you could just be in the live chat and asking us questions and we'll answer them, which is what this week is all about, ladies and gentlemen. We got some good questions.
Absolutely.
Which one do you want to answer first, Matt
Let's do Maxwell's first.
So Maxwell, our dear friend, who has a great voice, asked us, what is the worst marketing move by a pop girly?
And there were some options being thrown around in the live chat.
And we were also debating like accidental marketing move, like, oh, this happened by accident and this was a mess, or like purposeful, intentional marketing moves. And we decided on the latter.
I think it's purposeful. It's not like we can say like what Ashley Simpson, that SNL thing, like that was an accident. I think real things that were planned, even though I personally don't think it's that bad. The day Mariah crashed TRL and like took her shirt off back in 2001 to promote glitter did not go over well with the general public. They were not familiar with her sense of humor, and she was going on very little sleep at that time, so it did seem a little high energy, and there was a lot of blowback.
It's so interesting because if it happened now, like everyone would have loved it. Like everyone was like, oh. Mariah's being energetic and goofy on TRL. She's giving out ice cream. She is a generous queen.
Yes.
Like I think everyone would have loved it. And if people were like, is she a little messy right now? Kind of fun. Like people would have loved it now, but back then,
that's the thing.
That was the Bush years. They didn't like that.
There are certain things like when you watch the Janet Jackson Super Bowl event of it all, it's just like certain things that back then at the time, like were all encompassing. Like this is the biggest drama ever. If it happened today, it'd be like, cool.
Right? Like, even then, you were ahead of your time. You were like, this is cool.
It was cool.
Yeah.
And
it was cool.
It was cool. And I stand by it.
Don't you forget it.
There was also a moment around that same time where she was outside, I think around Tower Records with her then publicist, Cindy Berger, and she was answering a question on a mic, and she was rambling a little bit as she's wont to do, and Cindy like tries to pull the mic out of her hand, and Mariah's like, Cindy, see, all I was gonna say is I just give the haters positivity. Can't even get a thought out these days. See, and it's like, it was a rough time for us as lambs.
This is a rough time for her.
It was a rough time for her. We were all in the
society.
Same things that came up. Or do you want to talk about something?
Well, I just want to say we made it through the rain.
We did. That was quite a song. And the first time I heard a clip of that song, I cried.
I mean, it's a beautiful song.
It's beautiful.
So something interesting now, I think people wanted us to talk about last week, but then we forgot that I just remembered. This isn't a pop girly thing, but like the marketing that happened with the new Broadway musical Bad Cinderella. That's Andrew Lloyd Webber's new musical that is opening at the Imperial Theater. I don't know if it's the end of this year or in early 2023. They changed the title from Cinderella to Bad Cinderella. And there was already some scandal with this production, like that happened in London. And so it was not coming to Broadway on like the friendliest of terms.
Right.
But so they decided to change the title. And they have a new girl playing Cinderella, and they decided to announce the title change. They're going to do something real fun. And so the whole point of this Cinderella is like she's bad and she's edgy and she's like, and So the girl playing Cinderella came out for like the press conference, and she was like, I'm so excited to be playing this role, but I'm not just Cinderella, I'm bad Cinderella. And then they play the song called Bad Cinderella, and she, being a beautiful, delightful musical theater girl, wearing her heels, like starts to turn to one direction and then realizes like, oh no, I should go in the other direction because that's where this paint can is. So she's like, ooh, and then she like turns around, goes the other way, and gets like a spray paint can from behind. First she like looks for it, and then she grabs it, and then she goes and she shakes it, and then she sprays bad on the big poster that just says Cinderella behind her, and it's like with the song Bad Cinderella playing. And it was a great idea in someone's head. Like it was a very cute idea, but like I don't think it really had the effect that they were hoping it would have the effect, because it was, just a delightful musical theater girl, and like this wearing this cute little outfit and heels and everything, like trying to be bad and like spray painting. And people were like, I don't know how edgy this is. It was very cute,
right?
But it was one that could have been saved to drafts.
Absolutely,
as someone again once said.
Yes,
we'll talk about this person
exactly, because Katy Perry, when she was debuting that album, Witness, for whatever reason, like locked herself in the Big Brother house for I don't even remember how long, and she was like live streaming everything for like at least 3 days, maybe a week or something. And it's like you see her like waking up and like I don't know, going to therapy. I remember her doing.
Was she completely by herself, and like therapy was like?
I think there were other people. No, there were people there that were coming in and out.
I totally forgot about this.
It was very strange. It was also a little bit earlier when Gaga, even though as much as we stand behind Art Pop the album, when the Vomit artist appeared and threw up on her, that was when I had to bow out. That was when I was like, you know what? That's a little too far for me personally. And so that came up in the chat. I also think sometimes an artist is thinking, oh, I'm going to change my sound completely and do something that's so new and different, and the people won't know what hit them.
And hey, sometimes it works.
Sometimes it does.
It really works.
But when it doesn't, it really doesn't. Some examples that come to mind: Jewel with Intuition. Remember that song that came out that was like she's like, it's a send-up of pop music, but it just was pop music, but it was bad. And it's like, well, if you're like acoustic guitar folk girl, what's this? I don't know if we'd call Man of the Woods like a really big departure for Justin Timberlake, but whatever that was bad.
You can't just be like, oh, this album was bad.
I can. It was, I think.
But does that count as like a marketing thing?
Well, I think he was the sonically, like, we're changing the style. I'm going to be the Man of the Woods. Like the visual part of that album and the visual representation of Justin Timberlake was as bad as the music. So it's kind of worked because it was in line.
Okay.
But it was, a career killer. Or like career killer, like a Macklemore's song you like.
Downtown is a great song, and I will die on that damn hill.
Yes.
And that music video is budget. Budget, baby. It's a great song. But yeah, all of these are ideas that, if they had approached me and been like, this is the idea I have, I would have initially been like, you know what? That's a really fun idea. But then I would have thought about it a little more and been like, you know what? Send yourself an email.
Yes.
Save as draft.
Hello. I'm telling you, it is the key to life. Sending oneself an email.
Yeah.
We also got
another question from Christian.
Yes.
Our dear friend Christian, who asked, what song do you think represents your life and your outlook on life? I believe the question was.
Yes.
Immediately the song that popped up in my head would have been, what song would you get? Would you guess a song for me?
No.
Okay.
No.
So the song that immediately popped up for me is one of my favorite songs by Carly Simon, which is an Oscar-winning song called Let the River Run from the musical Working Girl.
Okay.
I don't know why, but like for some reason, the energy behind that song, I think, represents how I feel about myself really, really well.
Okay.
I don't know why that was the first song that came to mind.
Right.
I get very defensive about that song because I love it so much. I remember...
Did people come for the song?
My ex-boyfriend did.
Oh.
One time when we were going through our breakup. So I was already mad at him.
During the breakup, he came for your favorite song?
Like during the weeks of the breakup. Like as we were, because we were living together.
Yeah.
and I was like, oh my God, the movie Working Girl? Like I just have been listening to the song that won the Oscar for Best Song that was written for the movie, and I'm just obsessed with it. It's called Let the River Run, and I made him listen to it, and he listened to it, and he was like, that was so cheesy. And I said, you go back to your side of the room, okay?
Jesus Christ.
I am already mad at you.
I was gonna say it does seem harsh. Just let Matt Steele have that
Let me have
ex-boyfriend.
my song,
Let him have his
okay?
song. I'd say all encompassing. There's a song by Alanis Morissette at the end of her underrated so-called Chaos album called Incomplete.
Oh, it's great.
And it's just about like how much of our lives we spend trying to find the finish line and being like, okay, once I reach this level of, level of my career, or once I find a boyfriend or start a family, or once I get this thing, there's always a dangling carrot in front of us that we're like, my whole life will come together as soon as I'm, in a long, happy relationship, as soon as, everything comes into place for me. That's when I can really start living. As soon as like I find religion, that's when I can start living. But it's like, maybe it's all just about the running. It's all about moving day to day. Like you don't always need to have this point in your life where like, oh, now I feel whole. It's like, you can be whole now. And I knew someone who was very about this, and he was like, essentially like, I don't think it lasted for very long, but there was a moment in his life where he was like, until I achieve my career goals, like that's all I'm focusing on, like really giving 100%. And it's one thing to give 100% into your career or your love, whatever you love in your life, but it's also like you cannot not enjoy life until you achieve every goal. Like that is not workable. And so that realization is something that is talked about in Incomplete. And I think that is a lovely sentiment that I try to keep in mind.
It's very much Beyonce on the treadmill with the Oscar. It's like Beyonce didn't get that Oscar, but I mean, I'm sure she like learned so much through that process.
I'm sure she did.
Of starring in Dreamgirls and working towards that and everything, and
doing
now,
the master cleanse,
and it's because of that lemon juice and cayenne pepper diet that she has become the mogul that she is today. And now, like, the thing with Beyonce is I'm just like, she doesn't need a fucking Oscar.
I know.
Like, she doesn't need anything anymore. She doesn't need that Album of the Year Grammy anymore. I mean, we'd love if she had it, and we'd love if she had all these things and everything, but like, she is Beyonce. Like, that's a whole like thing in itself.
Yes.
Like, so it's all about the run. See, for you, I thought I totally was trying to guess a song where the sentiment was like, delete his number.
Which I think is also a good idea.
I was like, damn, what's a good song that like is about that? But I couldn't think of anyone.
I think on my darker days, I feel like it's Outside by Mariah Carey, because you'll always be somewhere on the outside. And then on the lighter days, it's Can't Take That Away by Mariah Carey.
Okay.
There's a light.
I do love Can't Take That Away.
And that dance mix. There's a light that shines in me.
That's Diane Warren, right? Is that the?
Yes, they did co-write that together. And Diane doesn't do a lot of co-writes. And that's why, that's when Mariah and Diane were on that red carpet and Mariah pushed her.
I remember that. And Mariah was like, okay, we're done with pictures.
Yeah, so done with pictures of her. Thank you.
So funny.
Matt Steele.
Yes.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
What has been giving you moments, darling?
Guys, the gay movie of the year is out. Tar has been released to limited theaters. It will be, I forget when it goes wide, probably like in like 2 weeks or something like that. Tar, starring Cate Blanchett, directed by Todd Field. It's his first movie in 16 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, his last movie was Little Children in 2006. Tar is essentially about this fictionalized composer, EGOT winner she is a composer as well, but she's mainly known as being a conductor.
Okay.
She's an EGOT winner, and her name is Lydia Tarr, and she's played by Cate Blanchett, and she is just this fierce power lesbian who wears nothing but button downs, and
I like her already.
Oh my God, she's incredible, and she is about to she's about to record like a symphony orchestra playing Mahler's final movement or something. I forget. Okay. And she's going to be the conductor for it. And so it's all about her preparation for that concert. And along the way, things are revealed about Lydia Tarr's like previous relationships with, younger aspiring conductors who she took under her wing. And all throughout the movie, she's a very manipulative woman, and you just see her how she gets her way with various different things and everything. And it's just wild.
Really?
Like, and the thing is, for the first 45 minutes, it's a bunch of her having fancy lunches with a bunch of guys talking about music, and you're just like, what the hell am I watching? Like, what is this? Like, all right, and you're like, okay, something's going to happen. And then it just builds and builds and builds and builds. And you don't know, like, I'm not going to say like what she's accused of or anything, but you don't know if she's guilty or if she's innocent. But the whole movie, like, as it goes along, verges on this, it's like vaguely like teeters and toys with being a psychological thriller, but then it's not. Like, it's like a genre I cannot define.
Wow.
Like, it was just an amazing 2.5 hours sitting there watching her performances. Absolutely astounding. Like, she is phenomenal. And
is she gonna win an Oscar?
I mean, that's a great question. I mean, that would be her third Oscar. That's hard to get. And, you know, Best Actress is pretty open this year. So I don't know. It could be Michelle Yeoh. It could be Michelle Williams now that she's campaigning for lead. It could be Margot Robbie for Babylon, or it could be Cate Blanchett. Also, the woman who Danielle Dyer, I forget her last name, who is in the movie Till, is apparently phenomenal.
Wow.
Like, people are like, there are a lot of like movie pundits who are just like, this is the best performance of the year. Like, so Best Actress is going to be a bloodbath this year, which, you know, we all love. But if you are interested in something like that, I beg of you to see Tar. The way so many elements are used, like the way sound is used in the movie is just brilliant. The way the cinematography is amazing. There's one scene where she's teaching a Juilliard class that's like a really great scene, and it's all shot in one take, and it's just like floating around the entire room. The way music is used, the sound of the music is just so impactful that like you can't get that on a small screen in your living room. Like, go see it in a theater so you can just be blasted by it. It's so good.
All right.
Yeah. It's great.
Okay. Well, I guess we got to see Tar.
Go see. Oh, I can't wait for you to sit in that movie theater and see Tar.
I'll wait.
I can't wait for you to sit there because the movie's credits are like in the beginning. So you have to sit through like 2.5 minutes of just names for a while.
I mean, I might wait till it's on streaming, if we're going to be completely honest.
That's why I'm kind of like, are Oscar voters like really gonna... I could see it getting nominated for a lot, like especially director, actress, picture.
Right.
But I could see some voters like watching it and being like, I'm not sitting through these opening credits. Get out of here.
If they can sit there, come on.
I hope they do. If you say you love movies as much as you do, sit through the opening credits.
Not that hard. So for me, on the Discord, which you can join if you become a patron by going to patreon.com/2gaymax.
Hey.
There's been a lot of hubbub, a lot of talk about an album that I was putting off listening to just because, you know, we listen to a lot of albums as part of the channel. But this past week, I finally got into the Muna album, and they are a trio of queer ladies, I believe. And they are on Phoebe Bridgers' label, which I did not realize until I Wikipedia'd them. Okay. And they've put out this incredible, like, confessional electro pop, but like still very much band kind of music, and so lyrically strong. I have several favorites. What I Want was the one that I believe someone requested us listen to, and you listened to it and I didn't. You are right. What I Want is so excellent. What
I know.
A joyous, like, celebratory moment that song is. You know, she wants to dance in the middle of a gay bar. We've all been there. She wants to, like, find a girl who wants to date her. It's just so joyful. The melodies are unbelievable. The instrumentation, I love how synthy it is throughout. There are several highlights. Anything But Me, I think, is very good. Just the conceptually, it's like, I can no longer be with you, but call me if you need anything but me. You know, it's a tough one. That's the thing, is like, these are really emotionally kind of heavy hitters. A lot of them are great. There's a song, track 4, Home by Now, which is just so unbelievably good. And anyone who's ever like been in and out of a dating situation can probably relate to it. It's basically begins like, I see you're selling all your stuff, like you're selling your piano and all your stuff. And I wonder, are you moving? Are you just strapped up for cash? But ever since I decided to like not be in your life, these are the rights that I give up, knowing what you're doing with this stuff.
Those are hard rights to give up.
And you do. And that's what happens. And the chorus is essentially like, do I have too many expectations, like all these rain checks kept building up. If I had held on a little bit longer, would we have turned a corner? Like, would we be just like getting home by now? Like, could it have worked? But I made this decision that it's over now. Things are different. I have to let you be in your life while I am in mine. And even if it's a true, I wish you all the best situation, you're on different tracks. Mm-hmm. And to make sure everyone emotionally is safe and sane, it's best that they go separate ways sometimes. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to be at peace with that, because beyond someone being, your boyfriend or girlfriend, they, at some point become your best friend. You like are used to checking in with them, and like getting out of the habit of doing that and forfeiting the right to be in their life in some ways, sometimes in certain situations, is tough to do.
Oh, it's the toughest thing to do.
And this song really encapsulates that feeling, which I feel like doesn't get talked about as specifically as it's talked about here.
Yeah. Oh, when the album came out, I was like, I'm going to listen to this album. It was like beginning to end great. Like I remember, I haven't listened to it since. Yeah. But I remember when I listened to it, I was just like, oh, this is fucking excellent pop music.
It's so great. It's so great. And so next up on my list, Tove Lo. I feel like every gay is on my Twitter feed talking about how great the Tove Lo album is. And the song with S.G. Lewis is unbelievable. And it's just like, I haven't listened yet, but I will.
I just think it's so funny that in the beginning of our folklore review, I literally, like our video, I literally say, I don't think cardigan is a word that really sings well. Like it's weird to having a song. Like it's a word that it just doesn't sing well. Like no matter how much you want to put a metaphor to it, it doesn't sing well. It's kind of like the word grapefruit.
And then Tove Lo's single.
1 year later, Tove Lo releases a song called Grapefruit. Guarantee you she got that idea from me. I will take 20%.
I don't know that that's true, but good luck in court.
I'm calling my lawyer now.
Stranger music cases have been won. So honestly, good luck. It could happen.
If what's that, Blurred Lines?
It was Blurred Lines and Marvin Gaye.
If Marvin Gaye can get money from Blurred Lines, I can get some money from Tove Lo.
Don't do that. Tove Lo doesn't have that much money.
Listen, Tove Lo, if you just give us a shout out.
We'll take that.
I'll take that.
Thank you. All right. So I think that's it for me. Is there anything you need to tell the people?
Just that I love you all. I can't wait to rip this hoodie off.
All right. And also, if you are available this Thursday at 9 p.m. Pacific time or midnight Eastern, we will be going live on YouTube and having a listening party and listen, having a first listen to Taylor Swift's new album Midnights. And you should come join. There's so much fun. I have a feeling this one's going to be crazy because it's Taylor Swift, and a lot of people want to have a listening party about that. So hopefully we see you there.
Hopefully. God, I feel like everything the last 2 months of my life has been leading
honestly
up to, and was it even announced a whole 2 months ago? I don't even know, but I'll just say 2 months because it's true regardless.
I remember
has been leading up to this live listening party for Midnights.
I remember sitting in the Seattle airport when she was on the VMAs and announcing this album, and I was like, fucking A. It's been overwhelming. It's going to be fun. I took the day off the next day. I just know that I'm going to feel like I got hit by a bus after we do it.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no way around it.
I feel like I got hit by a bus after I do these live podcasts and everything. Because, we give 100%.
Oh, my God. Well, guys, I think that's it for us. Thank you so much for watching or listening. And we'll be back next week with more 2K Mats, the podcast.
Bye.
Bye.